Sneaking like a cat. Meow meow.
Yeah,
Cannot sneak the meow meow.
Cannot sneak the meow meow.
I think we're live. Seems to be working. Yeah.
Take the first hit.
Okay, Jeff, start us off.
All right, welcome to our Wednesday edition for September 2nd here, the Veto Reaction. I'm here with our main correspondents here. We have Jaemeel Robinson on the top for once tonight, and he's doing his meow meow dance. He's sneaking. Nobody can outsneak Jaemeel. And with my big brother, we have Dave Mater over on the bottom right, and we're here to break everything down or not. What happened in that house just may surprise you, or will it?
What an episode! What an episode it was.
I mean, like the veto competition was pretty much half the episode, and there was very little game going on because there is no game going on in the house, guys. I mean, it's a pretty boring thing as far as strategy goes right now. I guess at this point, I just want Kaser to go because can we get this game started? Like this is just frustrating, guys. I mean, are you guys feeling the same way as I am, Jaemeel?
I hate these people. I hate them all. You know what? Even Kaser, who I do like, I hate because I wish he was doing better and could win a competition, right? To save this season. I just hate the general indifference that these people have. They're like, I think I'm playing a good game while doing absolutely nothing. I think I'm being very strategic by doing absolutely nothing. I'm being my own man. This is my own HOH, but while following the big alliance. These people are it's embarrassing. It is straight up embarrassing, this game.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, I thought it was a fun episode. You know, it was a kind of an interesting thing with. Yeah. Are you getting
Put it
called
up.
out?
Put it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's racist for these people. Who do you mean by these people, Jaemeel?
Oh, I know exactly what I mean by these people. These people who do not know how to play Big Brother, and includes David. So
the no stars. Yeah, David
lives in his own world.
Yeah, David thinks winning a competition will somehow change his lot in life in the house, and it won't.
I have receipts. Okay, I have receipts. Let's talk about David for a second. Let me break it down like a fraction.
Okay, gotcha.
David told Bay on the 30th that he wouldn't want to use the video if he won because he wouldn't want to be the replacement. Bay had to tell him that if you win the veto, you are safe from being nominated. This is the quality of all-stars that we have. The dude is garbage. He is straight up garbage. I probably mentioned this before. It's worth mentioning again, right?
He's not on the block.
Congratulations.
Something.
You won. You won.
What is he, like Ransom from Star Trek Lower Decks, where he's Dave, you enjoyed it more than Jaemeel and I. Why?
I thought, okay, what did you guys think of like the segment with Memphis and Kaser on the morning TV show they had today? That was fun, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it was fun. I mean,
Jameel's face says it all.
This is what they have to fill the gap in because there's no strategy. You're on like an endurance comp, and I hate those type of endurance comps because look, 33 minutes for an endurance comp? No, thank you. And yeah, where was the campaigning? Where was the like, hey, do me a favor, I got you. Like Kevin mentions it to David, and David's like, oh, I don't know what he means. He's like, he has to win it from me. It's like, dude, what are you gonna try to win a veto for? Like, if you win it, do you have enough backbone to tell the house, I'm gonna take Kevin off? They're gonna tell you don't, and you're gonna like, well, okay.
Well, Kevin knew that. Kevin knew, I think, enough to know that, or at least I hope he thought so. That whole because if David was a good player, which we know he's not, he would have if it came down to him and Kevin in this veto competition tonight, and I think he could have said, "I will definitely take you down, and he also won't be able to put me up, right? And then you and I can be sort of a pair, and as a pair, we're a little bit of a threat, but then people could join with us, or we could sort of have a consortium, that's how you start building something right in the house. But David doesn't do that because David doesn't really get it. He's not a great player, and even Lonely YT says David is such an annoying player. As a David, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to.
We should have
that completely.
So on the David scale, you have Dave Mater.
Yep.
Then you have David, Big Brother, way down. You can't see my hand because it's really low.
Wait, he's the lowest of the low among the Davids.
Yes.
There's got to be a worse David than this guy.
I don't know.
Its full name, I'm sorry, is David Alexander.
Terrible.
David Alexander. David the Terrible.
Yes.
He seems like I think I would get along with this guy in real life, but he does not deserve to be in this game. There's got to be better personalities in the United States who auditioned that even would have fit into his archetype or whatever. There's other first boots that would have been more
Where's Glenn? Glenn's on his island.
Or Steve.
Yeah.
Summer Steve 2018.
Yes. Summer Steve 2018. We never had it. He was the first boot. Or second boot, maybe. I think, I don't know. But he went early in that game.
I think it was
Let's get some Pow Pow in here. Let's get some Josiah.
Pow Pow, you're straight up terrible.
Pow Pow sucked at everything, and I would take her over David.
She's like, I know. She at least was feisty, and she'll do something in the house.
She at least knew she sucked at everything.
Yes, very true.
Yeah, I think I guess remember this. We're just happy we have a season at all in this pandemic because I know, in some. So I'm like, I guess it's whoever we got in here, whatever. But even then, you're like, there's got to be someone better options. Obviously, we didn't get Derek and Dan.
We didn't get Josh.
And speaking of Nicole Franzel, what do you want? Do you want to touch on her tonight in her diary room sessions and her few scenes that she was in this episode?
Nicole's just sitting pretty in the house. She's just like, these idiots. They're not coming after me. She's just acting like the naive girl. But she knows exactly what's going on for the most part in the house. She knew that Danny fucked up there, and when she walked into the room and was like, "We need a meeting." Oh shit, Nicole's here. It was just Nicole likes to just sit back and chill and not have to worry. That's how she plays Big Brother, which is terrible TV.
So you're telling me that she doesn't have anything to do. She's like, oh, Danny just messed up. I could just sit back and let them scurry around like rats as they try to I don't know what she means. I think she just messed up. Of course she messed up, dude. I know you guys are in another alliance, right? And so, wait a second. I don't understand how people are approaching stuff. Nicole's there, and no one's targeting her because she's in the alliance, but not in the alliance of the person who's in power, who is talking strat with the rest of the people who are in the alliance and not in the alliance, but in another alliance. And then they're bringing up reasons why they want to vote people out, including a reason that would apply to her, but they're totally fine with mentioning that as a reason for voting someone out or putting someone on the block, i.e. Ian, which is her back person, two-person alliance that she has besides Danny.
Okay. Nicole wins HOH tomorrow. Who's she putting on the block?
Assuming Kesar is out tomorrow night.
Yeah, Kesar's gone. Let's say he's gone.
Who's next most threatening to her is probably Davon.
So she's putting Davon and Bailey on the block?
Maybe. Possibly, but her being HOH. I don't know if it's likely. Like, I don't know. Yeah, at this point, she would probably just try to maybe David. She might play it safe and throw up like David and Kevin. I could see her doing something like that too.
Right.
David, I know that you were working with Janelle for a couple weeks, and I'm kind of worried about where your head's at. There's a lot of people in the house that didn't like how you outed them in terms of their game talk. So that's the reason why I'm putting you up. Kevin, you've shown that you're able to win vetoes. I'm giving you the chance to win a veto and take yourself off the block. These are my nominations. It's going to be something that like so inane and stupid, and everyone's going to roll their eyes. And she's like, "Oh, no one respects me as HOH."
Is anyone?
I have a picture of Victor.
Yeah. Is anyone not going to make those kind of same nominations? Is anyone going to put somebody in these alliances up? Or we just have to wait like 2 more weeks until Devon and Bailey are gone, or until Nick, Ian, and Kevin are gone. Like, is that just what we're gonna like? It's almost like the house is just deciding like who goes home in order, in sequential order.
Nicole referred to in one of her diary room sessions. She referred to him as a floater. Right.
To who?
Nicole referred to Kevin as a floater.
Right. Like she's not a floater.
No, that she's not. In her mind,
she's not.
She's the biggest floater. She's the floatiest float of all McFloats.
Yeah, but that's what she's calling out. Like, she's like, well, they put up Kesar, who's obviously public enemy #1, who obviously wants to put me up or my alliance members up, and whatever she's saying, like, shaking her boots because Kesar might be able to take one of them out if he happens to win HOH. It's this ridiculous fear of him.
Is there any chance that anybody puts up Danny and Nicole on the block together? Because they're coming after Danny, but is there any chance of this?
Not this week, it wasn't, but like I think they're planting the seeds for what will come. And I think that Danny she went from sitting really well. I think like a week ago, I was thinking Danny's looking great. Danny is starting to play this game. She's working like of one of the older school players. Now I remember Jaemeel, you were very much on the stand like no, she will sort of work her way out of a job a little bit, and they'll suddenly say, "What are you here anymore for? Yeah, we had you as above other people we wanted to get out, but you were never in our core group." And I think that is actually true, but I think that she was at least was well networked. But now I think after this, now that Tyler has sort of said, Danny's not somebody I'm looking to work with, somebody I would be fine with cutting. He said that straight up to Enzo, like point blank. He knows that could get back to her. So he has to be ultimately.
Enzo, I don't think Enzo wants to work with Nicole. I think Enzo wants to work with the boys. That's how Enzo plays. That's how Tyler.
And Christmas, and he's with Christmas because Christmas is on the block.
Yeah, he put her up because he thought it was the best opportunity to make sure that only Kesar goes home. Because who's going to vote out Christmas? Is it like it doesn't really serve like Nicole. It doesn't serve Ian. Does it serve Kevin? Does it serve Danny? Does it serve Bailey or Devon or any of these people to take out Christmas? I mean, I think it does, but that's the
let me quote Enzo on August 31st. Enzo to Tyler, quote, "We should not be in alliance with these effing women, yo," end quote.
Okay, well, that's
from the scripture of the Meow Meow.
That is credible evidence, I have to say.
That he wants all his boys.
Yeah, that Christmas is ultimately expendable. Okay, can we talk about this decision of Christmas to volunteer to go up here as the pawn? Good move?
For who? Enzo?
For
yeah.
Her? Great move. Is this good for Christmas or her alliance?
Look, if Christmas gets to the end, she's going to mention that she put herself on the block. Of course, Enzo could turn around and say, "No, that's a lie." Right? She could. And like this is like a safe bet unless it isn't. But it's a pretty good bet that Kazar is going to go home. So why wouldn't you? If you had all the weeks to be put on the block, wouldn't you take this week as like Kevin? There was no chance Kevin was getting voted out over Kazar. So him freaking out about the veto, he might as well said he could have technically stayed on the block and still be safe. Of course, that would be dumb, but I wouldn't have won if you always want to win a veto when you get a chance to, especially when you're on the block. But still, I don't know. I'm just talking.
I think it would have been.
You think that you're playing with people and everything makes logical sense, so you would automatically take yourself off the block. But this dude has zero credibility, regardless of if he won the veto. Do you think people are going to work with him next week? No. So it didn't matter if he did or if he didn't. Right? So all he did was just force Enzo to put someone else up. That's it. He was a minor inconvenience to the plan. That's it.
Yeah, they got the most out of this, right? If you're like in the majority alliance, they got the most out of Enzo's HOH that they could have hoped for. It's looking good for players like Cody, like Tyler moving forward. And we're going to... Oh, yeah. And, and I think that you're right. Like, it's just a bit of dull outcome. Memphis is... Okay. What's going on with Memphis?
Is Memphis in the house?
Yeah, I was saying that tonight. I was like, is Memphis on this show anymore? Is he still in this house? And then all of a sudden we got this sequence that I got brought up earlier with Kesar. These two, like, I guess nobody talks to them, so they just decided to make a little talk show in the nomination chairs.
No.
No, okay.
Dave, no. Dave, no. I know we're trying to like talk about what happened in the episode, but nothing happened. Okay? That doesn't count. Right? This is akin to like the fashion shows that they used to do where like, oh, we're gonna dress up in clothes and we're gonna show it on TV because we have no strategy to talk about. Yeah. It's nothing. Like
I liked the fashion shows. They were fun.
Mr. Uniform, of course. Yes, I realize that. But still, it's the same thing. They're literally trying to fill time. Like, what's the campaigning gonna be? It's like, oh, we might get rid of Christmas. Christmas is pretty sketch for volunteering. I don't know. Like, Jaemeel, there's nothing to talk about. We have to, they have to manufacture. If they don't talk about the bullhorn tomorrow, then literally there's no hope for this season. There's literally no hope.
For like the integrity of sort of like showing us an honest depiction in some way or giving us a story that we can understand. But okay, and we'll talk. Yeah, the bullhorn we haven't addressed yet on the show. But I wanted to ask you about what your thoughts are on this conversation tonight between Bailey and Kesar. Oh, did he freeze at that exact moment?
No.
Me?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, you're good. Okay, you're back.
Okay. Don't scare me like that, Dave.
It did. He froze for just a moment.
It only froze for him.
Okay. Worried about it.
There you go.
God, where to start with this? Like, I feel like people are not talking the same language at all. Well,
that's what Bailey had said to David. He doesn't speak the same language. He doesn't live in the same world.
No.
Okay, but what was she seemed offended by Kesar that he was trying to pressure her because she was friends with Janelle, that somehow that made them friends now or something. That was her attitude, but it didn't. She did not look good in this scene, I thought, or in this particular clip.
Bailey's annoying. Can we just say this right now? Like I feel like she's a spoiled like brat of a player. I feel
most likely, yeah.
When she gets in the house, there's something happens to her where she loses her mind and it gets very self-righteous and gets very like, no, this is the way I see it, and isn't malleable. She's very firm, like we saw it last time with Tyler. She bit her own lip.
It's like she turns into a 14-year-old version of herself.
Yes, that's what I think. I think she dematures when she goes into the Big Brother house.
What does Kazar have to offer her at all? Nothing. He has nothing. He's a dead man walking, right?
Yes.
So a little bit of humble pie would be a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially, there's nothing guaranteed, right? Janelle is gone. Janelle was your connective tissue. Don't assume that you're connected to the shoulder, right? Mr. Elbow, right? You have all this in between. You have to close that gap, right? And I think he overstepped his bounds a tad. Now Bailey must be watching or playing some different game than I'm watching, because she's not on the top of any food chain for her to just kind of cut people's legs from underneath them when they're coming to her, right? So she needs to also check herself, right? Because she'll find herself out the door in Kazar's position in no time flat. So
yes,
both of them are wrong. Both of them are speaking the wrong language, right? Yes. And both of them are going to find themselves butt out the door if they keep this up. If Kazar isn't talking to people, he's gone already. Honestly, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
and
like
Bailey,
he's literally a ghost in this on this show.
David's like, I remember this, and Bailey is not building bridges. You're not building bridges, right? And you're supposed to be gathering up all the misfit toys if you're not on the top, so that when it's time to flip the house, you already have the people in check that having your back, right? So, like, I don't know what she's thinking, because I don't know how she's going to take control with Davon, who, the Dave man over here who doesn't know how to play this game, Kevin, who acts like he hates her guts from time to time. Who else? Christmas, Ian, who is like,
he's a ghost too. We have a whole house of ghosts.
Yes.
Nobody wants to form an opposition alliance. They just want to make sure it's not them week to week to week to week. And
this HOH streak, it's one of the big reasons.
Sure,
but even though the HOH streak, you could have messed with their HOHs each time.
Has there been a female HOH yet?
No.
Or sorry, a female veto?
Don't think so.
No, wasn't it first? First was Cody.
Did Christmas win a veto?
I think Christmas might have won a veto, right? Yeah, I think
she didn't. She won Safety Suite.
Right.
She won Safety Suite. That's the only thing she's won.
Okay, so of the main competitions, which I consider to be HOHs and vetoes, Safety Suites are icing or bonus, whatever. But
Cody has won an HOH and a veto. Tyler has won an HOH and a veto. Meow Meow has won an HOH and veto.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Kevin.
Kevin has won a veto.
And Memphis, HOH.
So Memphis is an HOH.
And Memphis won veto too. Yeah.
All men winners. And so you can tell that they were only talking about men nominees this week. It was very much clear that they said after 3 women in a row, for whatever, like, they had committed that it's either going to be Ian going up, but ultimately Christmas goes up on the block, which is kind of the crazy thing. And if somehow we haven't gone into any kind of spoilers or anything, I imagine that it's definitely Kazar. But if by some miracle it's Christmas, like, imagine 4 women go in a row.
Okay, so let's say 4 women are out, right? Christmas goes. So we have the remainder of the house is Bailey, Davon, Nicole, and Danny. That's 4.
Yeah.
Maybe Ian. That's 5, right? And then Kevin. We don't know Kevin. Okay, so let's say Kevin and David. That's 7. One of them has to win HOH, so that means there's going to be 6 votes, right? Against Cody, Tyler, Memphis, Enzo.
Christmas?
No, well, Christmas will be voted out.
Oh, Christmas is voted out, right?
Maybe Kesar with the other side. Maybe. Like they could flip it, but still, would you trust Nicole? Not really. And if you can't trust Nicole, then Nicole's with Ian. So that's 2 minus from that side. That makes it into 5. Or sorry, 6 with Kesar. And then if that's the case, Danny is probably going to go with Nicole and stay with the other side. So then it's 5. And then we're back where we started, and we know that David is too weak-willed. It would be only Bailey and Davon who would be like, hey, what up with the women? Kevin's going to be, as long as it's not me. Kazar is like rubbing people's nose in the sand. They're probably going to be grateful for the other side of the house, knowing our luck, right? And who else is left? David. So it's going to be David and Bailey and Davon versus the other side of the house. Like, I don't see how this flip is going to work. Right?
No, it's not. And this is what Derek did in season 16, was he made like this giant alliance, and then the alliance slowly picked each other off, and they always, like Cody and those guys, always made sure that they weren't going to be the targets. And that's what's happening this season too. It's the same thing, except none of the players are rootable. Don't like any of them, other than maybe like Ian, Tyler, and Devon are the only players I sort of like. That's it.
I don't like Ian this season. He's playing a bad game.
No, I like him personally. Like I think
personally,
yeah.
But game wise, I do not. I'm not digging it. like
no, he hasn't done anything, but he doesn't have to. Like, you know, like that's the thing. Like he eventually will probably, but he's a winner. He's got a huge target on his back for that reason alone. So
how does Nicole not have a target on her back?
Nicole has a voodoo curse on everybody in the house, and if you go after her, she's going to run to production and make sure that they take away all your privileges.
like Enzo's like, this is my HOH, meow meow. And then he's like, well, I don't want to upset the household because, you know, there's 7 people want you out. Oh, good job putting numbers to the amount of people that want Kesar out.
But nobody wants Kesar out more than Nicole.
Yeah, because, you know, that's going to mess with my game. She's going to come after me. It's like, he's going to go after Tyler and Cody more than anything.
Yeah,
right,
you would be like a casualty if you happen to go under a Kesar HOH. Like, you may be a replacement nom at best.
Like, I just don't understand these people at all. Like these people who are not compies. Like, why are you pairing up with compies and eliminating other people that could be a threat to them? You're not going to be able to run the table to get these people out. You're not. Right? Tyler and Cody can win back-to-back HOHs and vetoes off and on. Right? You cannot. Even Ian cannot. Right? And so you're keeping him in the game to what? To get rid of him? David can't win a competition. He'll come close, and then he'll choke in his own incompetence. Right? So, like, what are we really talking about? Are you expecting Kevin to eliminate? Like, who's winning this? Are they waiting till double eviction?
No.
Because
they're not.
You're not going to be able to get rid of Tyler and Cody in double eviction with no like competition people to get rid of them. It doesn't work.
The only way something happens here, guys, is if like Memphis and Danny both find out that their alliance doesn't like them and wants to get rid of them. And if that happens at a certain point, then you will see 2 sides of a house. That's the only way, I think. Because both those people are just sitting comfortable right now and just think they're going to ride it right to jury, no problem. And that might happen. But once they find out that like Enzo or Tyler have been talking bad about them behind their back, then that's when things might change. But if Danny and Evans don't like each other, then they'll never align together. It won't matter.
Assuming we can find out who the HOH is tomorrow night, who is the best case scenario and who is the worst case scenario? Jaemeel? For you, is like worst case scenario like a Cody or
Christmas HOH is the worst case scenario.
Okay, best case scenario.
Best case scenario. Look at this list. The best case scenario.
Ian?
No, I don't think it's
No,
even.
Ian's gonna pull up lame. He's not gonna try to win HOH.
I think it's Kevin Campbell. Is it Kevin Campbell? Best case scenario?
No way.
No.
No way.
I think the best
No
case
way.
scenario is Devon, or I hate to say it, but David.
David, yeah.
I think those
David's willing to throw his entire thing away to like show that he could do moves. I can make moves too.
yeah.
And he'll be
So
like,
if David gets it, you know he's putting Memphis up, right? So
yeah,
that
and then what's the point? Like, okay, great, you got Memphis out. They'll probably you did them a favor.
yes, that's true. Is anybody going to go after Tyler, Cody, Enzo, or Nicole? Anybody at all?
nope.
What the fuck?
Nope.
Okay, let's run through that. Tyler, Cody, and Nicole Frenzel are nobody would go after them. Nobody would put them up at all.
If someone went to each person and went to Enzo, who do you think is running the house? Oh, me and Tyler. Me and Tyler and Cody. Right? If they're being honest with themselves. Christmas, who's running the house? Oh, I think Tyler, Cody, there's a bunch. It's like a committee. Okay. Kevin, who's running the house? Well, I'm certainly not part of the cool people's crowd, but Tyler and Cody and probably Nicole are in there. Davon, who's running it? Well, there's a lot of moving parts. It's a bunch of us, Cody, Tyler, Tyler, who's running the house? Me and Cody. Cody, who's running the house? Me and Tyler, right? Danny, who's running the house? Well, I think it's me, Cody, and Tyler. Bailey, who's running the house? Well, there's a lot of moving pieces, so I think it's Cody and Tyler. David, who's running the house? Shu? Ian, that would be his answer.
I love that.
Ian, Shu? No, Shu?
I think Keisha's
It's
running.
like, yeah.
Keisha's
Keisha. Memphis, who's running the house? What did he call Tyler? He did call Tyler. He called him a different name. Trevor. Trevor and Cody.
That was after a week of living together, right? Or 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicole. Gee. I think it's Cody and Tyler, but I have the ear, but we don't know. It's fragile. Like, everyone knows that they're running. Like, it's ridiculous. It is straight up ridiculous. It's embarrassing how obvious it is.
Which was very similar to what Cody and Derek did in season 16. Both of those guys, everyone knew that Derek was running the house, although they acted like on the show like, we just figured, like Donnie just had an epiphany and figured it out at one point. It's like, no. It's like, it was pretty obvious. If you just like sat down and looked at the nominations for 2 seconds every week, that those guys were never on the block ever. Derek never hit the block. Did Cody ever hit the block?
Cody
Totally different. No, Cody hit the block.
Cody hit the block at one point, but he was easily a pawn. He was like he was going up against somebody who would never go or something like that. It was like he volunteered, I think.
I think he went up against Nicole, and I think that was who he.
Yeah, Nicole went, right? Yeah. I think, okay, hear me out. Best case scenario for me, HOH is Memphis, because I think he's the least likely to be swayed by any kind of majority alliance pressures based on his previous HOH.
But he's putting David up.
Youngblood, you got to show me that you got it.
Take 2, Youngblood.
Also, you are a have not.
Yeah. Also, you are a have not.
Swayze, Youngblood.
Right. This is like the sequel of Memphis and David. I would love this. It would be like week 5 is just like week 2. Okay, maybe not. Okay, then Davon. Like, I have Davon in the draft. I would love to say that it's going to be Davon, but I know she would mess it up even if she gets it. Like, okay, and she would never get it. For the record, she's never going to be the HOH. It's not in the cards. I don't think.
Maybe
Like,
there's a sassy HOH that we don't
of
know
course,
of.
now I've jinxed it. She'll definitely win it tomorrow night. I hope she does, but she's never won anything, any veto or head of household ever. Davon,
Oh no, she's terrible.
right? Her competition streak is bad. David is more accomplished, I think, than
yeah, definitely.
than Davon. At least David was a runner-up in a competition.
Yeah.
I think the closest she got was the true or false one.
Yeah.
And she was in like the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
She's terrible.
Yeah.
And it's not just her. Bailey kind of sucks too. Like Bailey went out 4th here in this competition. This was my competition to win. I was like, this was your competition to win?
She's a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Core. Work on core.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kevin out endured her.
Okay, and we haven't talked about Kevin here, but why does Kevin think he is now one of the cool kids? He won the veto. I'm sorry, he won the veto. He's won the respect of the house. He doesn't have to worry. They better not mess with him now. Like he should be saying, I am definitely a floater in this game. I think you should believe in yourself, Kevin, but don't tell me that you are fine now. You won one veto, and now you are in with Cody and the rest of them, and now you have respect. That you are as expendable now, if not more, than you were before this. So even you're more of a threat now, and you have no friends. Who are your allies? I don't understand why the dissidents don't get together and figure out that they're sort of on the outside, but they never do. Since I've been watching this show, and I hear stories, legends of the old days where this wouldn't have happened, but now it's always the case.
So I think a lot of it has to do with just people's relationships, and people go, "Oh, I don't like that person, so I'm not going to work with that person," type thing. And then it just takes one of those people in the minority alliance for that to happen, and then all of a sudden, the people that are in the majority alliance can put their differences aside. They're fine with they don't really like Memphis, but they're like, all right, we'll work with you, and we'll tell you we're working with you, and it works out.
You win.
Just in case you win. But the minority people, like Kevin, is in the minority for a reason. He's a little bit of a grudge holder. So is Davon. Both these players kind of can't get, and Bailey, they can't get beyond personal vendettas with each other sometimes. You saw the way they acted toward David. They should have taken that information from David and used it as a weapon towards Tyler. What did they do? No, they just casted David out and said, no, this guy's terrible and he's awful, which is true. But you don't do that. You use the information to your advantage.
Right.
This is why when people tell me Davon's a good Big Brother player, no, she's not. She's terrible.
Yeah, I think back to Big Brother 15, the first season I watched, and when Howie, he came out to Helen and he was like, "Oh, I was in this Boys Alliance moving company," and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you lied to me. You've broken my heart." He's like, I'm sorry. And she was in the diary room, yeah, I was playing it up to really milk this and turn it around. And that's what you should do with this kind of stuff. Yeah, you can go for all the drama, but then after the fact say hey, that's just me working the system, right? That's me working the house. That's what we want to see in the Big Brother game. But I don't know, people are savvy enough to think that way.
Let's rewind the whole David Davon situation. When Davon was obviously hurt by the whole situation, what she should have done was say, you know what, regardless of that, I'm still with you no matter what.
Yes.
Right? And the difference between me and your friends Cody and Tyler, who you were sharing all that details with, if you go and tell them the same thing, they'll cast you out like a leper. Right? And if David did the exact same thing that he ended up doing and see the reaction, he would say, you know what? Davon was right. I should be with them because they're going to have my back. And you have just captured another person, a dumb person, but another number in your army, right? That you have in your back pocket.
Their vote counts too.
As opposed to, I'm at you, David, and then you burn that bridge or make David not feel that you have his back, right? Yeah. Keep the moron, right? Keep him in your back pocket. Right?
It actually use it to solidify him even more is what she should have done, but she didn't do that, And Bailey was actually at least trying to like make them talk about it, but she didn't do a good job either of making sure like that was a strong alliance. It could have been a really strong 3, right? And made sure going into another week, like, hey, maybe we can pull Ian on our side, or maybe we can pull Kevin on our side, or maybe like we can pull Memphis or whoever they need going forward, because they're going to need somebody, you know. And for them to just to go, oh no, we're fine just as a 2. That's how you end up going home soon.
Yeah.
You know. That's how it works.
So just imagine this week with David and Kevin getting close to each other. That could have been your 4th, right then and there. And then if you're like, hey, you know what? Let's support Kesar. You got 5, right? And then when you're having conversations with these people, you're like, we got 5 people, right? Do they have enough votes? We just need to get 1 more vote.
Figure out who's on the bottom and sway them over.
Yeah.
And then you scare the shit out of people like Nicole and say, we're coming after you. Or so, we were voting to keep Kesar. Screw you, and stuff like that. And you make her freak right the fuck out and get her paranoid. These people are too comfortable in the game. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it has to do with Cody. I think Cody intimidates a lot of them. I think they just want to do whatever he says, and I think Tyler's not helping the matter either, because Tyler's very hypnotic in his own way.
He's just bred for it.
He's just bred for it. Well, I think just like Cody's a very like distinct type of player. The way he talks, the way he communicates, his eyes are very intense. I think just the fact that he's a big, strong guy, wins competitions, well connected, well liked. Everybody is jury's out on that one, but he's just one of these players that in a season where everybody's winning, all the guys are winning, the alpha males or just men in general, winning strong endurance competitions. You feel like I have to be aligned with people like Tyler and Cody because they're likely going to win. Between the 2 of them, it's probably like a 50% chance that either Cody or Tyler at least are going to win the HOH if they're both in it, which they both get to play in it next week, right? Because they're at a different athletic level, right? Memphis is close, but he's older.
Big Brother's not supposed to be about how athletic you are.
This season is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it is, but it's not supposed to be. Like Veto's usually are more about athleticism, as you saw tonight. HOHs are supposed to be parlor games, like the one we had this week with the balls. Cody was in that. He didn't win it. Actually, he did pretty bad. So like you look at like that's what they got to keep to, that kind of thing. They have to make sure those HOHs aren't just like easy for like the pro soccer player or the surfer dude for that are jacked to just easily win it over an Ian or a Kevin. It's ridiculous.
Now it's becoming like a professional sport. I think that's how these players kind of look at it too, right? Because they go, this is about, we see it in a lot of seasons where they're like, and we saw it in the Big Brother, it was Big Brother Canada 7, right? Where all the strong alpha male guys, competition winners banded together, the 4 or 5 of them, and they went right to the end together. And Buddy, the one with the gap in his teeth, he ultimately won, right? So JP, right? Is that no? I'm thinking of another scene. Doesn't matter. Anyway, all I'm saying is that if that mentality is in the house for long enough, I think it just becomes the norm, the truth, and everyone's so scared of going because everyone's just trying to make it to jury. And you saw it tonight. Like they're on to Ian. We're on to Ian. He's just trying. He's going to turn it on in jury, or once we get to the jury phase, right? But right now he's just trying to get there, because you have probably a better chance at buybacks if you get to jury phase, especially now. They're like, he's a smart guy and he's crunching the numbers, and we got to get him out. So it will be fun maybe when that stuff starts happening a little bit, but the aftermath won't be so good.
Yeah. I mean, his name was Dane, by the way, Dave.
Dane. Yeah, it was Jane's pick. Dane in the draft.
Rupert. He's from Kelowna, BC.
Dane
But that's
Rupert.
beside the point. I mean, okay, like I don't know. Like I'm just like the Big Brother needs to really think about this as far as production goes. I'm a big fan, but I'm losing my interest in this season because there's not enough. I don't care who wins, like because it's just like I don't really understand who's going on the block other than the obvious targets for like the next 2 weeks, and then something has to change at some point. Like it's just annoying. Like it's just shake up this house. Enzo, put Danny up. Do something. I don't know.
Like this is the season that needs the twists, right? Normally, it's looking like something exciting is going to happen for the last few seasons, and then the twist comes along, and it always benefits the people we don't want it to, the people we're not cheering for, like the majority, like this season would be this group with Cody and Tyler and everybody else. It would somehow benefit them, and then they would get out who we like or whatever. But this season,
I'm not cheering for anybody this season. I just want something to happen.
Ditto.
Mary's
I'm just so disappointed, Mary says. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. This is the season that everyone was like, oh, we wish that we get like a pure season of Big Brother where the twists don't really, impact the game. Little did we know that we would have house guests who want little to do with the game as well. So we're begging. We're like, please do something to make this interesting. Get Mr. Pictacular. Get like the Pandora's box, and they switch out like players for actual real players. Or let's get Mr. Pictacular in here so we can get something happening. Like this is ridiculous.
I couldn't stand Rachel Riley, but I will take Rachel Riley on this season over any of these players because at least she knew how to bring drama and knew how to divide the house. She was good at it. She was good at the TV part. I don't necessarily like her as far as a game player or like a TV character, but I thought she was a lot more entertaining than any of these players that we have on their TV right now.
How pregnant is she?
I think probably pretty pregnant. She just did The Amazing Race though with Alyssa. Now, Alyssa would have sucked.
Mary doesn't have much to report. Is there even much to say in spoilers? Or we know Kesar is going tomorrow, almost certainly. I don't even need that as a spoiler. But unless there's some kind, I'm guessing there's no chance. Like you'd be saying, oh, guess what? Christmas is going, or there's a campaign to get rid of Christmas. I'd say that's extremely unlikely.
Actually, Bailey did say there's some hope, guys. She says if I win HOH, I'm putting Christmas and Nicole up together, and if one of them comes down, I'm putting up their partner. You know who?
Who's that?
Well, who's Christmas and Nicole's partners?
I'd say Danny.
Yeah, probably, right?
Right.
So also, Danny and Cody were talking upstairs, and Danny says that Bae asked Christmas who she'd never nominate, right? And then Danny states that Bae is trying to round up Christmas, Davon, Kevin, and David to vote as a block starting next week. Cody points out that they would only have 4 votes if one of them wins HOH. So how is that going to work or do anything? Right? And then he also asked Danny what Christmas said, who she wouldn't put up, and Christmas didn't tell her anything.
Well, then shouldn't that tell you all you need to know? And I think that's probably why she said she'd put up Christmas and Nicole. Right? Yeah. But when the HOH, come on, let's go. We need something to happen here, Bailey Devon. Best
case is a Bailey HOH.
It might be a Bailey or Devon HOH.
Would David possibly think about putting himself on the block if he won HOH?
Self-evict. He wins HOH.
It's not impossible.
Yeah. He goes, you know what? I'm not destined for this game. I've done all I have to do. I've won HOH. I'm at the top of the Big Brother pantheon.
He's like, I won. I won.
This is the end of the game, right? Do I get the money?
He leaves the house. He's like, yeah. He goes and sees Julie. I won. Yeah. It's like, did you just self-evict? It's like, wait, no. You can't go back.
I need my mask.
Oh my god.
Oh, David. Poor David. We'll see. He's still in the game. He still could win this game. Don't count him out yet.
Cody and Nicole were whispering about Christmas, and they wanted her to tell Danny because right now Danny's thinking about throwing the HOH tomorrow, and they were like, we really need her to go for it, so they're trying to manipulate things to have Danny try to win the HOH.
Why do they want her to win the HOH?
Because they just want her to try, another person to try to win it, so Bailey or Devon or any of those people don't win it.
But Cody and Tyler are already in the HOH.
Sure, but more numbers, they're not guaranteed to win that HOH, Dave.
And also, you want members of your HOH to you want members of your alliance to prove their worth and to show where they stand, because it's the most part they've kind of gone away with just going with whatever the HOH says, right? So
Mary's saying Dan and Kevin want Kesar to blow up the house before he goes.
Yeah,
before
so goes. He can't blow up the house. He has no information.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah,
he's like,
why would Kesar want to do that? Kesar is gonna just sleep and pray and
like, mad respect. I respect you. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. Like, he doesn't have any information. If Kesar had some information, then he would. But he's not. That's not happening.
But like, what benefit does it have for him? It's like, hey, Kesar, can you do me a favor? I'm not gonna vote for you to stay, but can you just blow up the house? It'll really benefit my game. It'll do me a solid.
Make some lies up about whoever, and just say that so and so wants to get so and so out, and
even though no one will ever believe any type of thing that you say, you have no type of credibility in the house, right? Everyone knows you're just saying stuff to say stuff. So, yeah.
Did Mary's saying Ian told Kesar all about the alliances that were happening?
Okay. Kesar's not going to do anything, I don't think, personally.
The only person that really blows up is Ian. Because it's they were like, how did you know about it? Ian told me. Okay, Kesar, bye-bye. Ian, you're the next target for the house. Thank you. That's all it's going to do.
Yeah.
Because if they say there's multiple alliances going on, you'll just tell the other people, hey, the alliance that you're not a part of, it's a fake alliance. Right? To keep them in check. Okay, and then they go to the other alliance and goes, the other alliance that you're not a part of, it's a fake alliance to keep them in check.
What what Ian and Devon and Bailey should be doing is telling Kesar, hey, they don't trust Danny, so go tell everybody that Danny was telling you that she was going to put them on the block or whatever. Throw Danny under the bus rather than Ian or Dave or whatever, right? Then that would actually might do something.
Say that you got all the information from Danny. Yeah. Danny told you, right? Yeah. And you're spilling the beans about Danny.
They would believe it.
They would believe it, right? Now, Danny ain't going up, so Kesar's still gone.
True, no, but it's not like it's for next week, right? And if Kesar does that, then or if he threw, they would never believe it if they said that about Christmas. But if Danny and Christmas are aligned or anything like that, then that might change their mind.
Maybe. But if you're Tyler and Cody, you'd be foolish to go, yeah, we should vote out Christmas. No, finish the job with Kesar, and then you pick up the spares that are there, which are Danny and Christmas.
Cody and Tyler are reasonable players, but Nicole was a paranoid mess. And if we can get Nicole's mind racing, I think that would be beneficial.
Yeah, all we can do is hope and see. The most depressing thing, is Christmas HOH or oh boy, another Tyler HOH, I guess, or
Cody HOH or Nicole HOH or Memphis HOH would be weird,
Yeah. I don't know. We'll wait and see, guys. I know we were trying to stay enthusiastic with the show and everything, but it's tough. Just because of how things have played out. And at some point, these people have to turn on each other at some point. So maybe not. And then it will get interesting. Then things will come alive.
They're all going to self-evict for Nicole, so Nicole can be the first 2-time winner.
Everyone is on to Danny. Enzo wanted to put her up before Noms. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't trust Danny. She always looks like she's up to shit. So it's
She's at least playing the game.
she's trying, but she's kind of obvious a little bit about it, at least.
Yeah, because no one
She's
else
messy.
She's
messy.
She is messy, but no one else is playing the game, really. They're all just sitting back, sitting comfortable. So it's
the only reason why she's considered messy is because her game is multi-dimensional. Tyler and Cody's are pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Bay is like you can pull up a phone book, right? Or it's like the alphabet of Big Brother. It's like B is for buddy, A is for two-person alliance, and C us walk out the door in a couple weeks. That's what it's going to be like for Bay and Daly, right? Bay and Daly.
Band-Aid.
It's Bay and Day. Like Danny is at least like working with other parts of the house, and that's why like people can dig up bodies. There's no bodies for Bay and Davon. There's none. Right?
They're
What
conspiring with David against Tyler.
It's like, we talked to Tyler and David too. It's a dead end. Right?
Okay, can I ask you just one thing that I still haven't quite worked out tonight? Because this whole thing with Danny tonight, where she outed the alliance to Nicole, right? The Slick Six, right? But the way I read the scene before that kind of happened was she comes in and says, like, I want to have like a meeting. And I thought that they were still in this alliance that Memphis had started. I didn't think Memphis was still in it, but I thought that it was still Cody, Nicole, Cody, Nicole, Tyler, Christmas, and what am I forgetting?
You talk about the commission.
The commission, yeah.
Yes, but Davon and Bailey are not a part of it. So when they said Bailey and Davon want to have a meeting,
that's okay. I get it now. Okay, because I thought she could have played it off as like, I want to talk about that alliance, but it's because she brought up Bailey and Davon. She outed Tyler. Now I don't know how much Franzel picked up on that or not. I don't know if we have any intel on that, but it would be interesting to know.
She could have just said, "Hey, Tyler, can you come with me for a second?" and then talk to him outside, and then, have Tyler pick up the rest of the people to go into the have-not room, right? Right? Make up some lie or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like, there was things they could have done. It just didn't quite work out.
Jeff, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He was staring intensely.
I'm so bored. I'm so bored with this season. Tired of this nonsense of a Big Brother season. It's not even good Big Brother. It's just nonsense. It really is.
Do you think the producers will do something to save the season? They'll throw some twist out that will mean.
So, I want to answer that question, Dave. What do you think could save this season?
I think if you have to throw these like alpha dogs back on their heels. You got to humble them. You got to find a way to disrupt this, the way this is going, because basically right now it's going that the final three are going to be Tyler, Cody, Nicole, maybe, or something like that. And that's
I think Enzo,
or I don't know, some combination of these people. But like it's just dull, boring, predictable. Like, who wants to watch? You can say it's pure Big Brother, or it's like great, just awesome gameplay. But what, like, I don't like, that's not what we want entirely. We want chaos. Big Brother in particular is not Survivor, where I want to see this more pure game. I definitely want to see crazy stuff, like anything that's going to disrupt things. I think that some of the twists they've thrown out over the years have been bad, have actually been harmful to the game. I think some things that give people like underdogs, I think you have to find a way to help the underdog. Either do America Votes. Like, who do you want to send a special power to, right, this week? And you'll see like KSARs and these people suddenly get things, and they'll be able to use that to further their play in the game. Because that's the only way you can counter this like groupthink mentality that has pervaded or been the main Big Brother style for a number of years now, because it's the cool kids and then the pressure that socially flows from that, and not wanting to sort of feel excluded, and that using that as a social technique to get your way. That's what Frenzel does extremely well, directly or indirectly. And Cody and a few of them, Tyler too. They all have a very similar gameplay. In Christmas, it makes sense that they're aligning with each other, but because they like this style, they understand that it works, and it's also based on their ability as like comp threats. They can also play that up.
Okay, Jeff, what would you do to save this season?
Recast it.
It's like, you guys are all done. We're replacing you with all the members from Big Brother Canada 8. Thank you for your time.
And Josh Martinez.
Josh Martinez is coming back. Bang a pan and do something.
For me, you start throwing in international rules. Big Brother becomes a character on the show. Big Brother forces them where they have to do different tasks, and if they don't, they get punished. The entire house gets punished, right? And it isn't a matter about how strong you are. Are you willing to do this? Is Tyler and Cody willing to be on a bicycle so people can get hot water for a good portion of the day? Enzo screws up, and now everyone's on slop, or everyone doesn't get alcohol. Like, throw these things out. We have the population that's watching vote for different things or different powers in the household. Like, put them on their toes, put them on their heels, where they just can't control the game as they are. Sorry, the power is out of your hands. It's the power's in Big Brother's hands. I'm sorry, too bad, too sad. This is All Stars. We're changing it up this year.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta do something. They have to do something. It's just I don't know. I think it would have been cool if they had done something like had a representative from like every season, or like except the All-Star seasons. You know what I mean? So if they had done like maybe one player from 1, 2, 3, 4, all. If they had done
Chicken George comes back.
Yeah, like if they had done something like that, I think that would have been a cool thing to do for like season 20 or whatever, because like then they could have had like 18 house guests, and then I think that would have been about right. And I don't know. I think there's too many new players that are just taking the old school players out, and it's just not very interesting to watch. Like it's just I don't like the new game. Like I find it's just like, they're too good at just making everyone comfortable and nothing really happening, no drama. Big Brother used to be about blow-ups, fights, drama, just people getting at each other, and now it's like, with social media had a huge effect on Big Brother. So like, so now everybody's worried about how everyone perceives them, so like that's why we have the Nicoles of the world that act one way, and but talk to us in the DR a different way, so like these are the type of things that bother me about Big Brother.
Even though Janelle's still out of the house almost a week now, Nicole can't stop talking about her and how she's like, she has to appeal to all her fans out there. Like, I'm not the bad guy. Janelle was the bad guy. And Kesar, he has to go next. This is the next, step in my redemption of showing you how wronged I was. Whatever. Frenzel is a waste. Why did they have to bring her back? Is this it? Can this just be it, though? No more. She's never back after this, please, right?
She's not coming back. Although, sorry, it depends on if the producers like her. She could become the new Jeff and Jordan, where they trudge her out and say that she's once again spawned more kids, and it's more Big Brother relationships and children.
We named our son Veto.
Jesus Christ! He
probably will, because it's Italian. Well, they probably will name their kid Veto.
Oh Lord! Oh my gosh!
Because when they came back for the like the proposal and the engagement, I was like, "Why are you here? Why can't we can we not just be done with this with you And
because Jeff and Jordan got their moment and everybody liked it, so now she had to have hers.
She's not Jordan.
I
She's
was not a
not,
fan
no.
of Jeff and Jordan.
I don't
not
really
a fan.
like Jeff and Jordan, but a lot of Amanda
I
loves
like them better than her.
I want McCrae, man. Bring back McCrae. I want the pizza man.
Pizza boy going after some older girls.
Yeah.
I would love like a season, an all-star season that had just like sort of misfit type characters, people who never quite fit in, all the oddballs. Throw them in, and there's your social experiment. What do these people do?
Gangster Kevin, McCrae, Donnie.
Steve.
Steve Moses. No,
Steve
Moses.
Throwing Johnny Mac.
Yeah, Johnny Mac. The rockstar
dentist. How was
Johnny
Mac not back for this season?
Probably had. The dentist game is booming right now in post-COVID.
Yeah.
Probably not. But,
what's the girl who got hit by a train in the face? They would always they can play that train sound. What season? Was that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know who you mean, but I can't remember her name. Was it Shelley?
Yeah, I think so. Shelley, bring back Josiah.
Josiah.
We need Josiah. We need more women too. Bring back Gina Marie.
throw Gina Marie in.
Just throw Gina Marie. That's
like
the
odd ducks.
Yeah.
What was your name? Audrey. Audrey. The you know who I mean?
She
Audrey
is.
Good.
She'd be worthy of throwing into
Just
this.
sequester. No.
Just no blankets though, so she can't just
no
huddle
blankets,
herself.
no sunglasses,
No blankets.
and no dark rooms that she can just huddle.
Big Brother, no stars. That's the next season.
Yeah.
All the players.
Jody comes back.
Yeah, I think that there's I would like more of that but they'll never do it. Like they would never say, do you want to see some of the weirdest and oddest characters? No, they'll be like, we got Cody back, we got Christmas back. They want eye candy type people.
How was Survivor able to get Francesca to come back, which was one of the shortest stints on Survivor? She got to play twice. And Jody, who played only for a couple of hours, has not been brought back. It's ridiculous. Maybe Jody doesn't want to play Big Brother anymore, and I'm just, it's kind of pointless bringing it up. But why?
Yeah.
Why?
All we can do is wait, guys. All we can do is wait and see if this plays out in a good way. And we're gonna be glad we were here in the tough days when it was rough, when we were like, nothing's happening. There's no action. This house is locked down. There's no movement. Any movement is even going in the opposite direction, where the people who are already effed are even more effed. So,
the only moves that are happening are the meow meow moves. Meow meow.
Meow meow moves.
Oh.
What it is. But we can, Jeff, I gotta be optimistic that we will get there. Jaemeel, take us away, man. Take us out.
I'm taking. Wait. Am I doing the recap for what is coming down the line for the
tell us what's going
Brothers?
on our channels,
Bros. I'm ready. Okay, so tomorrow, Super Mater Brothers, we're coming back for the eviction ceremony and the head of household ceremony. Will it be bad? Will I start complaining again and be frowning the entire time? Who knows? Please check it out. Right
80%
after
chance. 80%.
80% chance? Okay, that's pretty good odds, right? So please check us out right after the show airs. We'll be on shortly afterwards. Also, just check us out. Continue watching us if you are supporting us already. Continue to support. Get on that bandwagon. Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Super Mater Brothers recapping Big Brother. Also, on our other channels, we have Live Long and Podcast, where we recap various episodes of Star Trek shows. So tomorrow is Lower Decks. So around 11:07.
Yeah, I think I have 11:10 or something, or 07.
So
right
check
now.
us out. It's airing on CBS All Access, showing on CTV Sci-Fi. Check out the episode. Come watch us recap it. Then also we have Star Trek Deep Space Nine every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Check us out. We're going to see some circle action coming up next week. And then on Wednesdays, we have TOS, the original series, Star Trek. What episode are we covering next week?
We're doing Arena.
Ooh, Arena.
And
Good
tonight we just did For the World is Hollow, But I Have Touched the Sky, which is the longest Star Trek title ever for any episode in any series to this date. And
don't say that too loud. Discovery, people who make Discovery are watching. So
they're working on it. They're working on a title that's gonna be longer.
They're working on it. It'll be like a Bill and Ted's latest opus. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I mean.
Not quite yet. No, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm planning to.
It's worth the drive to Acton. All right, and then on the weekends, Live Long and Podcast continues on with Star Trek Radio Theater, where the wonderful crew here at Live Long and Podcast, they do an episode, and the wonderful episode we're doing this week is I can't read it.
Tapestry.
There you go.
We're doing Tapestry.
Tapestry, which is a classic. You have Jeff, the Made Man Mater, who's being Jean-Luc Picard, aka Johnny, and then you have Dave, the Dave who doesn't suck, Mater, who's playing the Nazikins, William T. Riker, and Bev Crusher. Then you have Kellen Millard, right? He's playing the Q or Q.
He's
for short.
Yeah, wait, Q in a bow tie.
Q in a bow tie. Then you have Jessica Chan, who's playing Gorton Zeller, aka Corey.
Yeah, he's the Ron Weasley of this crew. Basically, it's Picard is Harry Potter, and then you got Ron Weasley, which is Corey, and then you got Michael Chan over here as Marta Batanides, or I think is how you say it, aka Marty, and she's like the Hermione.
Hermione?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the crew.
Is Corey and Marty gonna hook up?
No,
it's actually Marty and Johnny. No spoilers, but it's
Harry had Hermione.
Yeah, which almost happened. Remember Deathly Hallows Part 1?
I did.
They danced. I felt it. I thought it was gonna happen.
You felt it.
I always thought those two were gonna get together, but that's neither here nor there.
That's your head canon, right? Your head canon.
The way I think it would. I think they both would have been happier for it.
Jane, swinging from the fences, is playing Penny, Maurice Picard, and Lieutenant Worf, plus various voices. And then we have Ashley Millard, my favorite host, who's playing the narrator, and the computer, the medic, various other voices, and Deanna Troy. That is Tapestry, Friday, 9:30. Check it out. Live. It is better live. You want to see Star Trek Radio Theater in the original Klingon, which you might hear break out. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen.
It's no Deep Space Nine. It's no Deep Space Nine in the original German.
Yes, Deep Space Nine in the original German.
Do you know who's voicing Jake Sisko in the German versions? From season to season. It's a fun fact with Jeff sometimes on our Deep Space Nine rewatches. So,
you get deep cuts on DS9 recaps. So please check us out on Tuesdays. There's a wide variety of shows to watch via the Super Mater Brothers and also Live Long and Podcast shows. Also, I forgot to mention Trivial Debates, which was just this weekend. Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. Please check it out. Did Chris Seymour win? You gotta recap the episode, watch it again. You want to make sure. You might be surprised. You might be surprised.
You might not be, but you might be surprised. So it's check it out.
So it usually airs on the last Sunday of the month. So that means we're in September. This is September the 2nd. So that means we're only a couple weeks away from the next episode of Trivial Debates.
September
so you want to make sure September 27th. You want to put in your calendar. You're going to watch it. As I mentioned before, Ashley Millard is the host. I am so excited for this. This is going to be the best one ever.
This is going to be unprecedented. It's going to be unprecedented.
Don't you dare miss it.
It's going to be a tag team. Triple threat tag team.
Tag team.
Triple threat.
You have to carry Chris.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm stoked. My hands are
so
shaking.
Glad you're on his team. Oh my god.
Woo!
He'll. All right. I think that's everything. Yeah. yeah, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Thanks for being with us tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, what do I say? Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe.